Welcome once again to our Leaders Moment. Today we are in week 5, the Crazyville to love. But leaders, you're going to unpack this wonderful verse. I hope that you have read it already. It is in 1 Corinthians 13:11 through 13. I encourage you guys to read the first half and you will honestly understand this half more. But I'm not going to read it all because it is kind of lengthy, so we are just going to jump into it. So here we see that the Apostle Paul is not only referring to our childhood, how we speak, how we reason, but he is really referring to our spiritual condition as a child to an adult, so essentially saying our spiritual maturity. And in this passage, it talks about our lack of understanding for God, that we are like children in comparison to God, that we don't always see the full picture, the full image, that we see it hazy and blurry. And as I was reading this, it reminded me of James 1:23 that says, "Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror." And it did refer to the whole mirror metaphor in this. And it really reminded me that his word is what grows us, is what cleanses, so to speak, the mirror. In 1 Corinthians, it says, when we grow older, when we read the word of God, it grows us. It is like Windex. I think that when I thought of this, I'm like, that's good. Okay, Windex. But it reminds me of a Windex, that it clears that mirror and that his word is, so to speak, a Windex. And we get a better understanding of who God is. So I encourage you guys, as we are becoming adults, I encourage you guys to tell your group this, that as we are adults, that we are becoming are we becoming adults in love? Do we love in greater and deeper ways? I encourage you to ask your group, are we maturing in our faith? And are we growing in our love for one another? Do we demonstrate it with our speech, with our thoughts, with our actions? And encourage your group to think of this, if they are maturing in their faith, and if they are they practicing love in a greater way? So we are cheering you on. I hope that you have an amazing time as you meet with your group, but just encourage them to just to be adults and not to just have a childish faith, but to grow from that to a maturity, which is what God intends for our life, to be children that are mature in our faith and not just think like childish ways, as this verse says. It says, when I was a child, I spoke and thought reason as a child, but when I became a man, my thoughts grew far beyond those of my childhood, and now I have put away the childish things. So I encourage you to talk through that and to just encourage them to love one another. We will see you next week.